Every woodworker and do-it-yourselfer has thought about the perfect workbench. There's a huge range of size, cost, styles, and functionality. A workbench placed in a large dedicated shop is often selected to fit the space and to move raw material through the workflow of the shop. If the square footage is available, this is a fantastic way to get the work done. I have a small garage that does a lot of basic storage tasks in addition to the occasional woodworking project, and I think I'm in good company. Lots of people don't have a dedicated workshop. So I wanted a surface to do work on, and I was hoping to acquire or make something with a little more functionality than a worktop, folding legs, and rolling casters. When I started searching for a portable workbench, the first results were typically a folding table that can be purchased at the local box store. When I did the same search on some woodworking forums, I started to see the Polk Smart Woodshop workbenches. The Smart Workbench design is strong and simple, and I really like the workflow perspective that the workbench could be brought out quickly to do the task at hand and then stored when it wasn't in use. And because it could be tossed into the back of a truck easily, the workbench can be brought to the work wherever it may be. I thought the Smart Workbench is a really nice design. I didn't stop searching for the perfect workbench, though. The Smart Woodshop design still occupies a fair amount of precious garage volume, even in storage mode, and I was gravitating towards some loose requirements that were directing the search. I wanted it to store tools, like a rolling toolbox or cabinet. I wanted the largest useful work surface that could be reduced to the smallest storage footprint, and I was looking for a worktop that has clamping and securing possibilities more than a bare tabletop or a door across a couple of sawhorses. Some more searching on woodworking forums turned up the MFTC multifunction workbench designed and created by Timothy Wilmots. The MFTC checked a lot of the boxes. It's portable. It stores tools that are used regularly with the workbench. When it's stowed, the workbench surface doesn't increase the toolbox footprint, and the MFTC worktop can be expanded with some simple extension tables that transform the workbench from 22 by 45 inches to a huge 45 by 76 inches. It's capable of holding and breaking down full sheets of 4 by 8 plywood. The one hitch I found with the Timothy Wilmots MFTC design is that the shelf construction presumes that you will be placing Festool Sustainer toolboxes on the drawer platforms. And for my current tool portfolio, I was using a different battery system and had too much invested to switch over to Team Festool. So I began thinking about an alternate design for the drawers that might be less expensive and could be constructed with the materials I had at hand, plywood and simple box door cabinet hardware. As soon as I began tweaking the drawer design, the workbox chassis dimensions began to change, and I realized that the height of the worktop could also be targeted to pull double duty as an outfeed table for the old reliable DeWalt job site table saw. So I began experimenting with SketchUp and eventually had a new configuration based on Timothy's design that looked something like this. Timothy's design has an MFTC worktop height of 35 inches, and my modified worktop ended up at 36.5 inches, which is right in line with being a useful outfeed when set next to the DeWalt 7491 RS on its rolling stand. The drawers were plywood boxes with a simple sliding mechanism, and a $3 barrel lock kept the drawers in place while the unit is stowed and transported. The bottom drawer was large enough to store the circular saw and the track saw together, and the spacing of the drawer slide grooves provided some modular functionality. If I ever wanted to construct different sizes of drawers that could be kept in a simple rack and then placed in the MFTC cart for carpentry or plumbing work, the regular spacing of grooves meant that I wasn't limited in the future. Human desire is fickle. I ended up selling the table saw and the toolbox as a combo unit. I also connected with the Finney Community Woodshop, which is great if you want to have access to a quality woodshop that contains a high-end table saw, jointer, planer, bandsaw, drill press, without actually spending my own garage space to have these tools. And I acquired some Milwaukee pack-out 2 and 3 drawer toolboxes on the mobile base for tool storage in the garage, so here is my new direction. I spent more time playing with SketchUp and measuring toolboxes, and I had a great time at the facility makerspace at Edmonds College. Many thanks to the facility and David for the training and usage of their design software and CNC machine. I made some curved jigs and the dog holes for the MFT worktop with a high degree of accuracy, and I sourced a pack-out baseplate pattern from Batavia Woodcraft on Etsy that translated directly into CNC production of a template for the drawer platforms. And I'm pretty delighted with how it turned out. It's a little taller and wider than the Benchworks MFTC design for Festool sustainer boxes and my own variation for DeWalt dimensions, but I can drop toolboxes in and out as needed, and a little more workbench surface area never hurts. The worktop plus extension tables gives me a huge amount of space for breaking down full sheets of plywood, and with T-track around the perimeter, I can use the extension tables in multiple angles for making long miter saw cuts or for assembly line production. All in all, I am pleased with the design. The pack-out MFTC stows next to my toolboxes and holds the woodworking stuff available, and when I need a workbench, I simply bring it out and unfold the worktop. Fun to build and fun to use.